The Saucony Ride 13 was one of my favorite shoes from 2020. Here's 2022, and now the Ride has been completely redesigned. Did Saucony completely mess it up? Let's talk about that. So the Saucony Ride line has always been Saucony's firmer daily trainer, and they said that they've changed the formulation of the PWRRUN midsole here in this iteration to make it a bit softer. But spoiler alert, I don't feel there's much more softness in this shoe compared to the previous Ride lines, but they did add a bit more stack height to the midsole. The stack height and weight is on your screen right now, and as you can see, the weight in this shoe has been drastically decreased compared to the Saucony Ride 13 and 14. They also put a cutout through the outsole here. I'm sure that's to save on a little bit of weight and also just give a little bit more flex to that midsole. So when you compress it, it adds a bit more bounce to the midsole. I hate using that word, but that's typically what these decoupled grooves do. And the last major change is they added a PWRRRUN Plus insole here. And folks, this is the real deal. Like, I wish that they sold these individually because it just feels so darn good. To round out the major changes are the additional stack height, the lower weight, which is unbelievable, but we'll talk about how I think they got there in a second here, and it's a positive thing for sure. And the addition of the PWRRRUN Plus insole, and also some changes to the outsole with that decoupled groove. But now let's talk about if those changes made it worse, or did they actually improve this already pretty darn good daily trainer. Saucony Ride upper, you're on trial. So first off, I just have to rave about this pull tab here, because this, folks, is how you make a pull tab. Typically, I just cut the pull tabs off because, well, if you can save a gram on running shoes, you gotta save a gram on running shoes, because weight matters. Not actually. The lockdown of this upper is absolutely fantastic. I was able to just lace it up and forget about this upper. It completely melted away from me. The heel cup is reinforced and my heel just sat so well into it, had no heel slipping whatsoever. The lockdown of the midfoot is so darn good because of this full length gusted it tongue. And also the padding on the tongue is absolutely perfect. So typically Saucony uppers have a lot of padding and they soak up a lot of sweat. Nope, they've changed things up, and on this shoe right here, the padding is just right. They've also changed the lacing system here, and I think that just further increased the great lockdown in this shoe. There's no extra room in the toe box, it just fit absolutely fantastic, and I believe they also have a wide version of this shoe, so if you have a bit more of a wide foot, definitely look towards that one, because this fit extremely true to size for me. Unfortunately, something we have to pay attention to in the next couple of months is how is this gonna do in heat? It's gonna turn to summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. Is this shoe gonna soak up a bunch of sweat? Is it gonna make my feet feel like an absolute sauna? I don't think so. I think they've done a great job in terms of breathability. I don't think it'll soak up a bunch of sweat because, like I mentioned, it's a lot less puffy compared to the previous Ride lines, and the Saucony Triumph lines, like those uppers are just like, I feel like the Michelin man's on my foot and just kind of hugging it. Not this one. This one has the perfect amount of padding for me personally. My judgment is this upper is absolutely fantastic. I'm able to just lace it up and forget about it. The lockdown is absolutely fantastic and it helps me feel connected to the midsole. Saucony, you nailed the upper. Yeah, I'm judging you, PWRRRUN Plus midsole. So Saucony said they changed the formulation of the PWRRRUN to be a bit softer. I don't really feel like it's softer compared to the Ride 13. It feels pretty comparable, honestly. Even just squishing it in my hand, it feels pretty much the same in terms of density. But I definitely noticed the increased stack height. So I've always found that the Ride line had a bit more ground contact. I don't have any ground contact in this shoe right here. They've also changed the tooling of the midsole, so the shape of the midsole is different compared to previous iterations, and I think they've actually done a lot of good there as well. So what they've done is they changed the bevel in the heel and the bevel in the forefoot, so you have a bit more of a smooth heel to toe transition. And I gotta say, folks, when I'm out there running, putting in the miles in this thing, that is one thing that truly comes to my mind when I want to describe this shoe, is how smooth it is. I can really get into my rhythm and it completely just melts away. I'm not thinking about the shoe. It's just kind of helping me protect my legs and keep me running forward. For these shoes right here, 170 Canadian dollars, 130 US dollars, don't think I mentioned the price, but I want the shoe to just soak up the miles and help me along when I'm out there grinding, trying to get the slow miles and build that aerobic base, you know? And I can't talk about the midsole without talking about the insole, because this PWRRRUN Plus insole makes a massive difference in terms of stepping, comfort, and it really does make the ride feel pretty darn fantastic. Like I said, I want this to be in every shoe now. This shoe is still on the firmer side. I ran in the Nimbus today, and that is so much softer compared to this shoe right here. And I'm glad that they didn't change it up too much, because a lot of people want that firmer ride, and people that love the Ride line, I think will still be able to enjoy this shoe. But even though you don't get as much ground contact due to the lightweight nature of the shoe, it doesn't feel extremely clunky. It feels like it melts away on your foot. And honestly, folks, I could use this not for only daily training, but if I just wanted to buy one shoe, I could buy this shoe and I'd have no problem taking it out for tempo days because it does feel so smooth and it does feel so lightweight on foot, and that upper lockdown just complements the midsole so well. Overall, I'm really enjoying the midsole. I'm glad they didn't change the density of the foam too much, but I am glad that they changed the shape of the midsole and added a bit more stack height. I feel like those changes are very much appreciated and they did a great job for them. But let's talk about this outsole. So the decoupled groove here is definitely to save on weight, but also I feel like it adds to the ride of the shoe quite a bit. Generally, a shoe that has a decoupled groove compared to a shoe that doesn't, I feel just has a bit more liveliness to it. And I think they have a perfect amount of rubber coverage here, not too much, not too little, and PWRRUN has been very durable for me in the past, so I have no real concerns here. I really enjoy what they're doing with the outsole as well. So the question is, did they ruin this shoe? And I guess you can probably tell from the tone of this video so far, I love the changes that they've made. They made it lighter weight, excellent. They made it a little bit higher stack, maybe not for some people, but for me, I enjoy that. They changed the outsole to have a decoupled groove and a little bit less rubber, love that. They added this amazing PWRRUN Plus insole, love that. Overall, folks, this is a massive redesign for the better, in my opinion. For those of you that love the Saucony Ride line and you're a little bit nervous and apprehensive, I can understand that, but I want to just give you some buying tips. If you're someone that really enjoyed the ground contact feel of the previous Ride lines, then probably stick with that. But if you can get away from that and you don't mind having a little bit less ground contact feel, then I really do think that this shoe is well worth it. Even if those shoes are on sale, I would still gravitate towards this one because it just feels so much better on foot because of that lightweight nature, because of the change to the midsole shape. It just feels so smooth. The lockdown of the upper is so much better. It has a lot less padding, so you're not gonna be as hot in the shoe. Folks, I'm absolutely loving this shoe, and for 170 Canadian dollars or 130 US dollars, it's not outrageously priced. Like in my last video, we were talking about the Nimbus line of shoes, and that's 210 Canadian dollars. So a $40 premium, and I don't know if I could really justify that, but we're gonna have to do a video comparing the Nimbus to the Ride 15. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that one. Let me know, have you picked up the Ride 15? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment down below and kind of tell me what you feel. If you tried previous Ride lines and you've gone to this one, do you like the changes? Do you hate them? I'd love to hear your opinion. But for now, check out this video that I did on the Nimbus 24. That's another great shoe, but like I said, it's a bit more costly, but the foam is a bit more exciting with that Flight Foam Blast Plus. All right, folks, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Helps me defeat the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more running related content. I'll see you on the next one.